Tonight, airstrikes continue to rain down across the Middle East. 3 U.S. service members killed in action during combat operations against Iran.
I just want my people to be freed and live a happy life.
Reaction continues here in Ottawa as Iranian Canadians and refugees wait anxiously to see what's next for their home country.
He has brought so much death upon us, upon our families, upon our loved ones, and we've seen it with our own eyes.
The latest on tensions and devastation in the Middle East. Plus, moving ahead with a long-awaited project on Highway 17.
I think it's about 7 or 8 years overdue.
After years of advocacy from drivers, the province is widening the highway to 4 lanes between Renfrew and Arnprior. Good evening. We begin tonight with the latest on the conflict in the Middle East, where U.S. and Israeli attacks on Iran continue for a second day. U.S. President Donald Trump confirming the operation has led to 9 Iranian warships being destroyed, while Iran is retaliating after the killing of that country's supreme leader. 3 U.S. service members have been killed in action as military and political experts say the regime is trying desperately to cling onto power. CTV's Adrian Gabriel starts us off.
From panic on the streets of Tehran to Tel Aviv, Bahrain to Qatar, Abu Dhabi and Dubai, the tentacles of this war are spreading and taking hold across the region.
The Iranian regime clearly feels that they are on their death ground. They are going to fight to the bitter end at this point.
Confirmation tonight that 3 U.S. service members have been killed in action and 5 others wounded.
We communicated with them either to shut down those American bases.
Iran's deputy foreign minister confirming they've been in contact with Gulf states, demanding they shutter American military bases in their countries.
If President Trump didn't want to see Iran hitting back and pushing back, President Trump should have not started this war from the beginning.
With Ayatollah Ali Khamenei now dead, officials in Iran say they're looking to establish a new leader as soon as possible. This as President Trump calls on the people of Iran to take control of their country.
Whoever takes power is going to have to fight the remnants of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps and any of the supporters of the previous Ayatollah.
So far, Iran has launched counterstrikes against 9 countries across the region. Near Jerusalem, at least 9 are dead, and dozens more injured following an Iranian missile strike on this residential area. At least 153 people, including children, are said to have died, according to Iranian state media, following a U.S.-Israeli attack that hit this school. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard say 3 oil tankers from the U.S. and U.K. have been struck by missiles and are burning in the vital Strait of Hormuz shipping corridor. As Muslims across the region celebrate the holy month of Ramadan, prayers for peace appear to be a distant hope, with war now crossing borders and arriving on the doorstep of millions. Tonight here in Istanbul, the land border Turkey shares with Iran in the close proximity of war weighs heavy on the minds of many as they ponder what the days ahead may have in store. Adrian Gabriel, CTV News, Istanbul.
And here in our region, reaction continues as members of the Iranian community wait with bated breath to see what will happen next. Many are now hoping for the fall of the Islamic Republic of Iran to pave the way for a brighter future in their home country. CTV's Kimberly Johnson joins us live in studio with more on the local reaction. Kimberly.
Austin, one Iranian refugee who has made her life here in the capital region, is sharing her story. She says her family is safe for now, but tensions remain high and the future of Iran is uncertain.
I just want my people to be freed and live a happy life because they're not having it right now. It's been 4 decades that they're not having it.
As uncertainty hangs over Iran, Kiana Samimimer says her mother is safe after leaving her home in Tehran.
And I was like, oh, thank God my mom is fine. At least just somewhere that there's not the attacks are not happening. So I was relieved a lot.
The refugee, now living in Chelsea, Quebec, says she was forced to flee more than 2 years ago, coming to Canada alone. She hasn't been able to see her mother or any family members in Iran since she left. She says right now, poor internet connection in her home country is making it hard to communicate.
Everybody are worried about each other. Like, my aunt also lives in Turkey, and she was worried about the people who were in Iran, and she didn't have access to them. So my mom told me to tell her that everyone are fine. Like, that's how bad the situation right now is.
As U.S.-Israel airstrikes targeting Iran continue, thousands of flights to and from the Middle East are grounded. Ottawa residents watching closely here at home, many celebrating at a rally on Saturday as the situation unfolds. As Iran launches counterstrikes in Israel, the Jewish Federation of Ottawa says in a statement it's watching the developments closely. Our thoughts are with all those affected, Israelis under threat, innocent civilians in Iran, and families here in Canada who are anxious for loved ones abroad. The Ottawa Police Service also issuing a statement Sunday saying it is monitoring any possible effects here in the capital, adding residents may see a larger police presence near religious institutions. Samimi Mayer remains hopeful that change can come to Iran, and she will see her family and friends one day soon.
I am very hopeful, and I don't know how is this going to happen, but my people are courageous, and I love them, and I wish I was there to support them.
The Jewish Federation of Ottawa says they have not received any credible threats of threats to the Jewish community here in the capital. Still, an increased police presence may be seen around synagogues and schools for the next week. Austin?
Okay, CTV's Kimberly Johnson reporting live for us tonight. Kimberly, thank you very much for this. Well, Prime Minister Mark Carney continued his trip through Asia, holding a series of meetings in Mumbai today to boost trade relations in India. The conflict in Iran, however, is overshadowing events ahead of Carney's meeting with India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Here's CTV's Abigail Beeman, who is traveling with the Prime Minister.
A colorful arrival for Prime Minister Mark Carney on a trip that's been mostly business. Carney held a series of meetings in Mumbai Sunday. The main event is Monday, when he will meet India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi and formally launch talks for a new trade deal. CTV News has learned a number of smaller agreements, memorandums of understanding, and letters of intent are expected to be announced on defense, critical minerals, and clean energy, as well as something on pulses and uranium. The Prime Minister keen to deepen trade ties with India and turn the page on a previously fraught relationship.
Every G7 countries have found a path to engage, obviously, with India. It's one of the fastest growing economies in the world. And Canada is no different. Actually, I think it's good for Canada. You know, engagement doesn't mean endorsement.
But overshadowing the trip, the airstrikes on Iran.
Canada supports the United States acting to prevent Iran from obtaining a nuclear weapon and to prevent its regime from further threatening international peace and security.
The foreign minister, here with the Prime Minister in India, issued a statement saying she's been speaking with her G7 counterparts as well as those across the Middle East. She called for Iran's retaliatory attacks in the region to stop.
Neither the Prime Minister nor any minister traveling with him has taken any questions since the airstrikes began, and no one in government is offering much context to Canada's position, which differs slightly from European allies less supportive of the United States' action. One senior source tells CTV News since well before he was Prime Minister, Carney has been firm in the position that Iran marks the world's biggest threat to peace and security. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, New Delhi.
And here at home, we are being hit by another winter blast. Just when we thought the brunt of winter may be in the rear view, it hits us. And Environment Canada has issued a cold warning in effect overnight into Monday morning. Wind chill values getting around -30 to -35 degrees. Taking a first look at the weather forecast now. And you can see right now we're sitting at -16 degrees. We are expecting some clear conditions over the course of this evening. Tonight's low, however, -28. Again, with the wind, expecting that to feel closer to -30 or -35 degrees. A little bit warmer in Kingston and Trenton, if you want to call it that. It's still -22 degrees. -27 tonight in Gatineau and -19 in Montreal. Tomorrow, warming up to -9. Beautiful sunny conditions, so nice time to get out and enjoy maybe some of the final days on the Rideau Canal, because we are getting above the freezing mark in short order. We'll have those details in our full weather report a little later in the newscast. The province is moving forward with a major project to widen a stretch of Highway 17 between Arnprior and Renfrew. It's a stretch of road many drivers say can be quite dangerous, and now many are happy to finally see some movement from the Ontario government to address those safety concerns. CTV's Natalie Van Roy joins us live now in studio with the details. Natalie.
Austin, the government is now accepting proposals to design the expansion, which would see the rural highway upgraded from 2 to 4 lanes. Now, it's a move that drivers have been calling on for years. Robert Bartley drives Highway 17 regularly. He says he is thrilled to hear about a planned expansion.
I think it's about 7 or 8 years overdue. It's about time. It's a busy, busy highway. I drive a lot to Renfrew.
The province moving forward with widening Highway 17 from 2 to 4 lanes, stating it's a critical link in the Trans-Canada highway system. The project will widen the highway system between Renfrew and Arnprior, a 22.5-kilometer stretch between Shield Drive and west of Bruce Street.
I mean, when accident or heavy snow goes on, we just go to 1 lane, so it affects everybody who lives up here.
The stretch of highway has been the site of many crashes over the years.
And beyond the fatalities, number of collisions that have been a direct result of that stretch. And with growing populations, it has almost become inevitable that there would be an increase in some of these issues.
The province first announced the project in 2019 as part of a 10-year project, with work being completed in phases.
My understanding is that we shouldn't be too excited about it starting tomorrow or soon. I wouldn't expect that it will be starting even within a year or two, but I've not heard a confirmed timeline.
But drivers still happy about what's to come.
I think that would be great, because sometimes when something goes wrong on the right lane, it backs up the traffic a lot. So I think that will affect in a good way.
We have a couple of people in our family who visit the Renfrew Hospital, so it's going to be wonderful.
And this is the second phase of the project. The first phase was completed in 2023 with a new bridge and interchange at Highway 17 and Calabogie Road. Austin.
CTV's Natalie Van Roy reporting live for us tonight. Natalie, thank you very much for this. Well, there is real opposition to the federal government's plan to build a high-speed rail line between Ontario and Quebec. The first section set to be constructed between Ottawa and Montreal. CTV's Quebec Bureau Chief Geneviève Beauchemin shows us why that plan is opening some old wounds in a community north of Montreal.
In a barn on Sylvain's land, there's an old tractor that's back in service. Back to stop a high-speed rail project in its tracks.
C'est symbolique, c'est symbolique.
Etienne says he rode this tractor with his father to fight expropriation 57 years ago. He's riding it again, he says, to fight for his land. Etienne and other farmers oppose a proposed 10-kilometer wide corridor for the Alto train project that will be narrowed down to about 1 kilometer over months. This for a 1,000-kilometer rail link between Toronto and Quebec City, slated for 300-kilometer-an-hour travel.
This project will be beneficial to Canada as a whole. We're talking, like an alternative solution that is fast, frequent, reliable.
Mes arrière-grands-parents. Etienne now runs a sugar shack on land that has been in his family for generations.
Mon père.
In 1969, his parents lost the farm to the federal government and were tenants for years. This after Ottawa expropriated a patch of land larger than the island of Montreal to build the Mirabel International Airport, then dubbed the project of the century. It opened in 1975, but notoriously became a white elephant, its terminal eventually destroyed. Some of the land was eventually returned with an apology after a decades-long fight.
All the people were here, meetings and meetings and meetings.
Denise Baudouin was the owner's lawyer for decades. She fears echoes from the past.
It's a tragedy here. It's really a tragedy, and we're saying, why here?
Alto is holding public consultations, including one in Mirabel. Etienne fears the train could carve out land he wants to pass on to his children and grandchildren. And that's his 5-year-old granddaughter, May, protesting just as he did more than half a century ago. A narrow path for the route between Montreal and Ottawa is expected to be unveiled by the end of the year. And the full 1,000-kilometer project is expected to be fully operational by 2040 to 2042. Geneviève Beauchemin, CTV News, Mirabel, Quebec.
An Ottawa entrepreneur is facing pressure from lawyers representing British supergroup the Spice Girls to change the name of her business. Spice Girls Seasonings started 9 years ago at local farmers markets, but now as the company heats up, it is facing an unsavory hurdle. CTV's Jenny Chen has that story.
Lily Bond is making taco spice from a homemade recipe that she started selling in local farmers markets as a 13-year-old girl.
My mom was often with me when I was younger, and because she was helping me out, so it was like, oh, there's the Spice Girls.
The name stuck in 2017. Then a year later, her spice made it onto grocery shelves in Ottawa.
I loved creating something of my own, and seeing that on the shelves, it was the most rewarding and incredible experience of my life.
To differentiate herself, Bond changed the spelling, replacing an I with a Y and using a Z. She applied for a trademark in 2022, and a year later, it was approved by the Canadian Intellectual Property Office. She rented space in a commercial kitchen and expanded her flavors, selling them in more stores. Then in 2024, she got a letter from a law firm representing ginger, sporty, baby, posh and scary. It wasn't what she really wanted. Bond was accused of trademark infringement. Lawyers said that consumers could mistakenly believe that her goods were somehow associated with the real Spice Girls.
It was a little scary. It was pretty overwhelming. I was really just trying to focus on, making the spices.
With not enough money to hire a lawyer to fight a potential lawsuit, Bond is giving up, an experience that has left her disillusioned with the super girl band.
I think that they have a band that is, or a brand essentially, that was built around female empowerment. And that's why part of me believes that maybe they don't know, because if they really are promoting or continuing to promote what they had built their brand on, I don't think they themselves would want to take me down for it.
Bond will now have to change the name of her company, just as a national grocery chain has expressed interest in carrying her spices, in part because of the branding. Jenny Chen, CTV News, Ottawa.
Ottawa's small business community is stepping up to rally around one of its own, raising money for the Ottawa Cancer Foundation in a time of need. CTV's Camille Wilson joins us live in studio now with more on this fundraising initiative. Camille.
Well, Austin, we know that many have been affected by cancer in one way or another. An Ottawa resident is reaching out to the community and small businesses here in our region to fundraise, while remembering that there can still be some moments of joy while going through a difficult time. For Jenny Chen, Dow Cafe is more than just a restaurant.
When my husband was going through chemo, he wasn't someone that would lay in bed and sit around and feel better. He wanted to feel normal. So even 2 hours a day, he would look forward to date nights out.
Back in April 2020, Shen's friend was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. He has been in remission since December 2020.
We were each other's social bubble in COVID. I took him to all of his appointments, his chemo treatments.
And caregiver shortly turned into a love connection. She proposed to him and they got married in 2022.
Halfway through, I was just like, I love this human being so much, and I can't see my life without him.
Now Shen is partnering with the Ottawa Cancer Foundation to raise awareness and funds through the Laugh for a Cure fundraiser.
The Ottawa Cancer Foundation reached out to me in November of last year and asked me to participate as a Joe for Laugh for the Cure, one of their bigger fundraisers of the year.
The Cancer Foundation provides local cancer care support. Having these local businesses involved as well just really ties into that feeling of of community and joy and that connectedness, and that no one needs to face cancer alone.
Chen has more than doubled her goal of $10,000. Small businesses and restaurant owners have stepped up to help support this fundraiser with one of the couple's favorite bites.
They've dedicated either a menu item where all the proceeds or part of the proceeds will go towards this cause.
Co-owner of Dow Cafe, Simon Huang, says it was important to step up.
My mom was a breast cancer survivor. I remember how tough it was going through that time. When she asked us to help support her cancer fund, to support the Ottawa Cancer Foundation, we're like, yes, absolutely.
Pizza Stay Gold for Tilly's Canada, Vietnamese Faux House, Bottega Nicastro, Sussex & Co. and Barocelli also supporting the cause.
Hope and joy is a social activity, and sometimes laughter and joy is the best way to help push us through.
The Laugh for a Cure takes place March 26th. Every dollar spent on select items at the restaurants during the initiative will go to the Ottawa Cancer Foundation. 350 people are expected at the Westin for the Laugh for the Cure comedy show on March 26th. And for more information, head over to our website, ctvnewsottawa.ca. Austin.
Ottawa always shows up for a great cause. Love
For
to
sure.
see it. Camille, thank you very much for this.
And most analysts I've been able to find are talking about prices heading towards $100.
Still ahead, the ripple effect of the situation in the Middle East, how oil prices are expected to see notable swings in the coming days. Here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. It is a chilly minus 16 degrees. Returning now to our coverage of the situation in Iran and the ripple effects expected to be felt right around the world. Experts are warning the impact of U.S. and Israeli military operations in the Middle East could cause oil prices to spike as markets prepare to reopen.
The market hasn't opened yet, but prices are over $80 a barrel in the pre-market. And most analysts I've been able to find are talking about prices heading towards $100. Iran has effectively shut down the Strait of Hormuz, which is about a fifth of global oil supply. And we don't have the ability to sustain that for any length of time without prices spiking quite considerably.
Oil prices have already risen on fears of war. Iran exports 1.6 million barrels of oil a day, with most of it going to China. If disrupted, that could leave Chinese consumers looking elsewhere for oil on the global markets, potentially driving up prices. Experts warn a wider war involving Iranian disruption of tanker traffic could see crude oil push past $90 per barrel and U.S. gas prices well above $3 per gallon. Experts are also warning about the impact this could have on oil in Alberta.
Alberta's royalty rate is dependent on the Canadian dollar value of West Texas Intermediate. So if it goes up $10 a barrel, that will absolutely increase Alberta's royalty revenue for the period of time that it's up.
And Pope Leo is making an impassioned plea to stop what he is calling a spiral of violence.
Dialogo ragionevole, autentico e responsabile.
The pontiff appealed to the parties involved, urging them to stop the violence in the Middle East before it becomes an irreparable abyss. He says stability and peace are not built through mutual threats or weapons, but through dialogue. 3 people are dead, including the gunman, after a mass shooting outside a bar in Austin, Texas. 14 others were struck by bullets. 3 of those victims are in critical condition. The gunman apparently fired into a crowded patio from inside the SUV he was driving. Authorities are still trying to figure out if this was a case of terrorism due to the nature of some of the items they found in the gunman's vehicle. Well, violence in Mexico last week left many Canadians stranded in Puerto Vallarta for days, with some travelers saying their airline offered little help to get them home. As CTV's Alex Carper reports, some are now fighting for compensation.
You can see all the smoke.
Katerina Steifenhofer was vacationing in Puerto Vallarta when cartel violence erupted across parts of Mexico.
Here is us, or some of us, hiding behind the counters.
Her flight home to Winnipeg was canceled last Sunday, and she was stranded in the airport as chaos unfolded around.
We were all very spooked. as shaking.
But it was trying to find a flight out that caused Steifenhofer the most stress. She says she received no help from WestJet.
They made us responsible to find our own hotel and to book our own flights back, which was extremely difficult.
Andrew Parks' WestJet flight was also cancelled. The airline told him the earliest flight his family of 5 could get on was March 3rd. He ended up booking a flight with Air Canada instead, which cost him $6,000.
WestJet, at every single turn of this process, had an opportunity to do something right, and I feel like they batted zero.
On its website, WestJet says it's committed to a safe and coordinated repatriation effort for guests impacted by the recent events in Mexico, a statement both Parks and Steifenhofer disagree with. Canadians stranded in Puerto Vallarta are gradually making their way home, but for many, the pressing question now is, what does compensation for the delays and additional expenses look like? Passenger rights advocate Gabor Lukács says WestJet must rebook passengers on the next available flight within 48 hours of the original departure date. If it fails to do so in a situation like this, he says he would buy his own ticket home.
Once back in Canada, send WestJet the bill and the demand for a reimbursement or the refund, a reimbursement for those expenses incurred within 30 days. On the 31st day, serve WestJet with small claims court papers.
As for Steifenhofer and Parks, they say they both plan to keep fighting until they're fully reimbursed. Alex Carper, CTV News, Winnipeg.
So you got to expect about $2,000 just to fly in and out to Cuba.
Still ahead, the challenges facing Cuban Canadians trying to connect with loved ones as Air Canada has canceled direct flights to Cuba until November.
Get the latest live local breaking news. Sign up now for our morning and evening CTV News Ottawa newsletter. The best local content from CTV News, Your Morning Ottawa, and News Talk 580 CFRA. Get it all in one place. Sign up now at ctvnewsottawa.ca. The CTV News Ottawa newsletter is brought to you in part by CAA Business.
There's a live look at Ottawa highways this evening. Pretty smooth for the most part. There does appear to be a bit of a backup on Baywater right now. It's cold out there, but we haven't seen any snow yet, so hopefully driving conditions are still not too bad right now. Again, it is still quite cold out there, and Environment Canada has issued a cold warning. I mentioned earlier in the show, wind chill values expecting at around -30 to -35 degrees overnight and into tomorrow morning. Very cold and definitely much cooler today than it was yesterday. Still pretty nice and sunny if you want to get out on the Rideau Canal, which has now been open for skating for 50 days. So even if it were to close tomorrow, which it won't, it's again going to be cold, but it would still be a terrific season so far. 50 days, that is amazing. The longest season that we've had, for what it's worth, was in 1971-72 when the skateway was open for 95 days. That must have been something. Got to get your skates sharpened like 5 times to get through that season. Okay, here's a look at the satellite radar. Little activity there. It's been, as I mentioned, mostly clear conditions over the course of today. Out on the East Coast, it's 0 in St. John's, -8 degrees in Charlottetown with some snow, and -5 in Halifax. They're getting some snow as well. We're currently sitting at -13 degrees. It's -9 in Toronto and -14 in Quebec City. And as we take a look at the prairies here, it has been a very mild winter for everyone in Calgary. 9 degrees right now, mainly sunny conditions. They are enjoying a whole slew of Chinooks so far this winter. It's -12 in Winnipeg, though, so they're sitting around where we are right now. 3 degrees in Edmonton, 9 degrees in beautiful sunny conditions in Vancouver. So there's the overnight low that has Environment Canada issuing that cold warning. -28 degrees tonight, -9 by tomorrow afternoon with that sun shining. -7 is the high for tomorrow afternoon in the Ottawa Valley, and along the Seaway, we're expecting things to get up to about -8 degrees. So almost the exact same as what we're expecting here in Ottawa. As we take a quick look now at the 7-day forecast, you can see the warm up that is on the way. So we got to get through Monday, and then +4 degrees on Tuesday. Same with Wednesday, getting up to 2 degrees on Thursday. So if you do want to take advantage of the Rideau Canal, do so sooner rather than later. Next weekend, look at that, +10 degrees. And we do have a 40% chance of showers on both Friday and on Saturday. So getting up to spring-like weather, and it's about time, if you ask me. Well, honestly, if you ask most people in the city, they'd tell you the same thing. It's about time. Air Canada has canceled direct flights to Cuba until November, and that is a major problem for Canadians with family in Cuba. CTV's Christine Long has more.
The many names and notes on all the walls of La Cecilia Cuban restaurant reflect the loved ones stranded in Cuba. Owner and chef Alexi Diaz Arcia has brothers and extended family there, and he's worried about them. It's become even more difficult since Air Canada suspended direct flights to Cuba until November. Travel agent Paloma Mascara is helping clients find other routes to Cuba to visit loved ones.
The passenger can fly from Montreal to Miami, Cuba. From Panama also, they fly from Montreal to Panama, Montreal to Mexico.
Fearing other airlines will follow Air Canada's lead, travel agent Matthew Wallace says prices are already skyrocketing.
So you got to expect about $2,000 just to fly in and out to Cuba. And even then, you need to have proper documents because not everybody can be approved to go to Cuba.
Meanwhile, in Villeray, the volunteers with a Canadian-Cuban community group are collecting their second load of donations to be shipped to families in need.
We sort it, we take down what it is, and we make a record of it and put them in boxes that we later send to Cuba in different ways.
Medicine, food, essentials will all be shipped by container, and that's exactly what people there need, says Arcia. Trying to take care of family despite the distance. Christine Long, CTV News.
Keep fighting and keep doing what you love.
Still ahead, how an Ontario teen is preparing to take in sledge hockey action at the Paralympics while looking ahead to the games in 2030.
Ottawa's favorite cash contest is back, and it's big. Move 100's $50,000 Beat the Bank. 7 vaults. You decide how much to take home. Sound the alarm? You lose it all. Be listening weekdays for your chance to win.
Well, time is running out to top up your RRSP. Tomorrow is the deadline to make a contribution for the 2025 tax year. Any contributions made after Monday will have to be claimed as deductions on your 2026 tax return. The deduction limit for 2025 is 18% of your earned income, up to a maximum of about $32,000. Any income earned in your RRSP is usually exempt from tax for as long as the funds remain in that plan. Well, in case you missed it this week, a 13-year-old cancer survivor and advocate for mental health has been named as this year's CHEO champion, representing all CHEO kids. CTV's Peter Sperling introduces us to Caden.
A room filled with applause for 13-year-old Caden.
My heart was going at 1,000 miles per hour.
Officially becoming this year's CHEO champion, using his journey to inspire others.
I love just sharing my story with people and telling them what they could expect if they were to have something similar to me.
He's a cancer survivor and advocate for mental health. Caden had a migraine when he was 8. That led to a diagnosis that he had a germ cell brain tumor.
The only 2 things I had really known about cancer is number 1, Terry Fox.
And the other, he says, losing his great-grandfather to cancer.
But the loss of him destroyed me. And imagine losing someone to cancer and then a year later, you get basically the same thing that killed him.
It's a lot for a child to process. Thankfully, CHEO was there for the journey, first with cancer treatment, then with mental health support.
CHEO is like another family for us. It's a lifeline. Because of them, I have my son.
He's using that experience and his infectious joy to champion on behalf of CHEO.
It just brings joy to everybody that meets him, and we can't wait to have him as our champion.
Handing over the reins and special mouse ears, last year's CHEO champion with words of advice.
Have
fun.
Fun that starts with some perks, like a trip to Disney World.
Well, it's my first ever plane ride, so I am totally not terrified for that. And I am absolutely excited.
Something that we have co-created.
His role announced at CHEO's first ever retail roundtable, where corporate partners meet Caden and learn all about what the hospital does.
If it weren't for CHEO, I wouldn't be standing here today.
Peter Sperling, CTV News.
With the Paralympic Games set to get underway in Italy on Friday, an Ontario teen is already looking ahead to 2030. Marcus Chambers will be cheering on Canada's sledge hockey team here at home, a team he hopes to be on in 4 years. CTV's Carol Charles has his story.
A few drills before the hard work begins.
It's tiring on this thing.
In a place all too familiar for Marcus Chambers. In 2014, when he was 3 years old, Chambers was admitted here at Holland Bloorview Kids Rehabilitation Hospital. He had been diagnosed with a rare condition called acute flaccid myelitis, which causes sudden weakness in the arms and legs.
I do remember waking up that day and just not being able to put any pressure or any weight on it, which was pretty weird.
He spent 3 months working on rebuilding his strength and regained much of his mobility.
They just were really helpful with treating me and, getting my legs stronger and trying to just help me get better.
For years, he has been outfitted with an adaptive device for support.
He is able to keep up with his peers and play different sports, which has been important to him, and allows him to play a variety of different sports and try a variety of different things. And so it sort of molded him as being the athlete that he is now.
It was also during that time he was introduced to sledge hockey, a sport which has become his passion. He currently plays with Team Ontario. And despite his disability, Chambers says he is determined to pursue his Paralympic goals.
I was just a really big hockey fan since day one, and I just wanted to keep that going. I think it takes a lot of courage to keep going, and not letting your disability get you down, and just to keep fighting and keep doing what you love.
His mom frequently travels with him to games and practices. She says Marcus is a trooper.
He's taught me about resilience and determination and, just to sort of always be able to go with the punches.
Although he won't be participating in the upcoming Paralympic Games, which begin next week, he will be cheering on Team Canada para-hockey athletes and fellow Holland Bloorview clients Greg Westlake and Dominic Cozzolini, who are going for gold.
I'm very happy for them, obviously. It's a great accomplishment. That's something that obviously I want to accomplish too.
Although still a few years away, Marcus is confident that he will qualify to compete in the 2030 Winter Paralympic Games in France. Carol Charles, CTV News.
Still ahead, a scary scene this weekend in Texas when a hot air balloon crashed into a cell tower more than 900 feet in the air. We'll have those details right after the break.
Far side pass, and it's a early shot. He scores!
And tonight's big picture, a scary situation that saw 2 people who are now safe trapped in a hot air balloon after it crashed into a cell phone tower more than 900 feet in the air. This all happened yesterday morning in Longview, Texas. Both occupants of that hot air balloon, again, they are safe. They were rescued without any injuries after dangling roughly 920 feet in the air for nearly 2 hours as emergency crews worked to reach them. Well, turning now to some of the other stories that you need to know in the world of sports, and to help us do this, CTV's Kimberly Fowler joins us on the desk with those details.
Yeah, sports and entertainment tonight, yes. Austin. Thank you very much. Well, Warner Brothers Discovery says it has officially agreed to be acquired by Paramount Skydance. Now, the deal is worth $110 billion U.S., and it was inked just days after Netflix dropped out of the bidding. Now, the new entity will include CNN, HBO, and CBS, as well as popular movie franchises. Now, the deal must still be reviewed by U.S. international regulators.
Twist angle, another chance in front. Vandenberg scores.
Well, coming off a shootout loss last night, the Ottawa 67s were firing on all cylinders this afternoon. Thomas Vandenberg, with his 21st goal of the season, makes it 3-0 for Ottawa on the road against the Sarnia Sting. The 67s, they would add 2 more, go on to the 5-0 shutout and the 5th shutout of the season for netminder Ryder Fedorov. The Barber Bulls, they now head to Peterborough next to play the Petes on Friday.
Into the middle, Tate plays it over, scores! Riley O'Connor, and this one is over!
The Ottawa Black Bears took on the Oshawa Firewolves in a thrilling National Lacrosse League matchup at the Canadian Tire Centre last night. It was a huge comeback in overtime for Ottawa. The team was down 11-6 at one point in the fourth quarter. Riley O'Connor, the hero for the Black Bears there. The team is now 5-7 on the year. The Bears' next game is set for Saturday in Colorado against the Mammoth. Former Ottawa Senators head coach DJ Smith has landed himself another head coaching gig. The LA King announced today that Smith will replace Jim Hiller as the team's interim bench boss. Now, after Hiller was let go, Smith coached in Ottawa for parts of 5 seasons from 2019 to 2024. This will be his first head coaching job in the NHL since he left Ottawa.
Working his way back in. The centering pass scores. Dylan Cousins has another.
And the Senators kicked off a crucial 5-game road trip last night in Toronto against the Leaf. And what a night for the Sens. 5-2, the final score. Ottawa winning thanks with 2-goal efforts from Dylan Cousins and Drake Batherson. The Sens are still 5 points shy of a playoff spot with 23 games left on the season. Now, Ottawa plays again on Tuesday in Edmonton against the Oilers. Now, I watched this game last night, Austin. Not the outcome I wanted, but yeah, the game was pretty interesting nonetheless.
I noticed as well, you took a little something out of the script there. I mentioned the Leafs are dead last in the Atlantic Division last time I checked, but that division is a bloodbath this year. It's brutal.
Rude of you to mention that, but yeah, you did do that. And did you notice that when they did the welcome back from the Olympics, there's a couple of boos for some American players, especially for Austin Matthews there.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I missed that, but interesting to see, obviously. Hey, speaking of Olympics.
Oh, wow, Hillary, Megan, it's so cool that we're all here.
It was going to be just us, but we thought we'd invite the guys too.
After the break, from a heated hit to SNL, Connor Story hosts a hockey-themed Saturday Night Live. There's a live look through our Centennial Glass Skycam. It is currently minus 16 degrees.
The National Capital Region is jam-packed with incredible experiences you don't want to miss. Hey, I'm Sanaya Taylor, your iHeartRadio Weekender, powered by Barrhaven Ford. Get the inside scoop on all the biggest and best events every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday on CTV, Move 100, Pure Country 94, TSN 1200, and News Talk 580 CFRA. iHeartRadio Weekenders is powered by Barrhaven Ford, Ottawa's newest and largest Ford dealership, and Ontario's #1 Ford EV dealer.
Hairstyles, courtesy of Salon Fiorella.
Here's a recap of the top local stories we're following right now.
My people are courageous, and I love them.
Airstrikes continuing in the Middle East as Iranians here in the capital region react to the latest developments in their home country.
I mean, when accident or heavy snow goes on, we just go to one lane, so it affects everybody who lives up here.
Details on a major project on Highway 17. The province moving forward with plans to widen the dangerous stretch of road after years of advocacy from drivers.
There's this huge community out there that's really rooting for him.
And laughing for a cure, Ottawa's small business community is stepping up to support the Ottawa Cancer Foundation and laughing for a cure. That fundraiser underway right now. And now taking a look at your final check on the weather forecast and your wake-up weather. It is going to be horribly cold. There is a obviously a cold warning in effect when you get to minus 28 degrees, which is what we're expecting, and some wind in there as well. Not too fierce, those winds, but still feeling like about minus 35 degrees when you factor in the wind chill. We will be getting above the 0 degree mark on Tuesday, and that will be the case until the end of next weekend. Look at that high on Saturday, 10 degrees. We have a 40% chance of rain on both Friday and Saturday. Not good news for the Rideau Canal Skateway, but great news for everyone who has been freezing their buns off this winter. Okay, finally for us tonight, some heated fun on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, heated rivalry star Connor Story made his SNL debut last night with several other hockey stars front and center.
Oh, wow, Hillary, Megan, it's so cool that we're all here.
It was going to be just us, but we thought we'd invite the guys too.
A cheeky little jab there, fresh off a gold medal win at the Olympics. Some Olympic stars in attendance, Hillary Knight and Megan Keller, joined by Jack and Quinn Hughes of the men's team. In the monologue, Knight took a jab at U.S. President Donald Trump for his comments during a congratulatory call to the men's team after their 2-1 win over Canada. Fellow heated rivalry star Hudson Williams also made a guest appearance in last night's episode, and that was a fun one.
Yeah, it was great. Honestly, the crowd went wild when Hudson came out. It was just so loud. And it's good to see that they're actually living their dreams.
Absolutely.
Good stuff. A great episode, too.
Hate that it's the U.S., though. Go Canada, go. Good night.